Oh, yes, darling, please.
Do you mind stop doing that?
Stop doing what? What's drinking tea?
No, what I'm talking about here, we have a policy within this residential unit that we don't allow behaviour like this in public.
Behaviour like what?
Intimate behaviour between residents and I do not accept it. You don't accept this out in public. This is private behaviour and I will not tolerate it in my life.
Just a moment.
I am who I am. Why should I be frightened, ashamed, sorry for the way I look, for other people's perception of my disability, if that's the word you want to use? So getting up on the stage for me and many of my friends is no worse than you doing it. We are about getting service users to impart their experiences, their knowledge, their understanding to potential social workers. And a lot of people said that they enjoyed doing drama, particularly when it was around their experiences, because it was partly cathartic and enabled people to get out their frustrations a bit by acting out what happened to them, and be it a wonderful way of allowing social workers or students to see what it's really like.
I'm not really afraid of appearing on stage. Disability is something that I've got used to because I've learnt to live with it. It's something I've always had. I want to dispel prejudices, and I think that what we're working on actually will get that message across really well.
He arrives with his partner at B's house. It's impossible
it is
here.
Possible.
Oh, thank you.
Sorry.
To include a bit about asexuality. Should we wish to make him gay? That's over there. He's already in a wheelchair. We've got that one sorted. So we've now got the vicar and we've got that one.
Rather than making him gay, do we want to make him bisexual with wife and gay man? Being a homosexual and being a disabled person can sometimes just put up two lots of barriers instead of one, because society has this attitude towards sexuality, then society has this attitude towards disability.
I'm sorry to ask, but could you not cuddle him or hold his hand?
Why can't we
well,
cuddle?
We've got people within the ward who feel very uncomfortable about it.
But that's their problem, isn't it?
Well, could I ask you to refrain from doing that?
Well, you've never been asked not to do it before. What's wrong with it?
It's hospital policy, I'm sorry.
Being on stage, that is the centre of my life. Doing things like SWIG improves my drama. I mean, because I've always loved my drama. I know I have because I hear of all the shows I was in and different parts I had. I hear that you're both ready to rekindle your relationship. Like Alice in Wonderland, I played Alice. Can't remember actually doing it, but no, I did do it. April 2004, I was in a really horrendous car crash, and the driver of the car died. I was sat behind her, got left in a coma for 13 weeks. The hospital told my parents that I would never walk, never talk, And if I ever came out of a coma, all I'd do for myself is breathe. And they had to call everyone in to say goodbye, and then I woke up.
What I think we should do is maybe read through it, and then everyone like have their thoughts on it, or we could do maybe visualizations and.
Do you want to say something, Christine?
Well, I was just wondering whether the disability of a brain injury comes in anywhere, because I feel like it's hidden disabled people and nobody knows just how brain injury can be seen as disability.
Yeah.
Does no one wash up in this house?
You can wash up if you want.
Yeah, because I can't stand to see washing up.
So what about this horse then, Christine?
Oh, Ben, it's gorgeous.
What's it called?
Pippa.
Pippa?
Yeah, but no joke, Ben, look at me. About there. No joke.
It's a big horse then, is it?
Oh my God, compared to Toffee, very. Being with horses triggers memories for me. I will be somewhere, like a stable, and smell the poo and wee, and it triggers memories for me of when I had my horse in a stable. But it does make me feel, I can't believe what I've done and forgotten. 17 years of my life have completely gone. Had to learn to walk, had to learn to talk. I know everything that happened because I found my diary, and I know all my experiences that I did. I just can't remember doing them. These are my drunken days when I was underage. It's me and Vicky. Do you know what is strange? I have never forgotten all my friends' names and faces. Just can't remember the experiences I had with them. I want to spend my life now helping those who are going through what I've been through, because I like people to know that people can survive brain injuries.
As a child, he always felt that his parents put his disabled brother, Brian, first.
I can't imagine what it would be like to live with that. I didn't know you had an older brother.
When you have a disabled child that's born to a family, you always get a reaction from the siblings later on in life where they felt that their brother or their sister with the disability was treated differently. I know if you ask my brothers and sisters about that, that's the answer they would give you. Because most of my parents' time was spent looking after me. I believe that the strain that was put on my family by having me actually forced my parents to become divorced. So I was actually brought up by my mum as a one-parent family. And when my parents got divorced, my aunties and uncles disowned me and disowned my brothers and sisters because they blamed my mother for the fact that they were getting divorced. But as a whole, I had a happy childhood, a happier childhood once my parents separated, because I have to say that my father was an alcoholic, and I used to dread my father going out on a Saturday evening and a Friday evening, because I knew that he would come back drunk and then cause family rows and end up upsetting the family. So I found that whole thing a very stressful experience. And since then, if I see anybody drunk in pubs or clubs, I sort of shy away from them because the bad thing is that somebody who has had lots of drink will always end up sometimes coming up to a disabled person and talking to them because they feel sorry for them, whether you want them to talk to you or not. My mum, in my late teens, actually became ill with secondary degree complications of diabetes, and she actually began to lose her sight and her ability to walk, and we ended up swapping roles. And I can remember that I had a nervous breakdown when I was about 18 because the strain was too much for me, but we got through it in the end. But that was a very traumatic time because we needed to get carers in for me and my mum, because my mum was in a caring role, and then when she wasn't able to care anymore, we got carers in for me and carers in for her. You could also build on the scene of the attitude of the carer, because not all attitudes of carers are positive attitudes towards disabled people. Are they, darling? Are you alright today?
Yeah.
Have you taken your pills?
Yeah.
Are you nice and calm? No, I don't want to fuck off. Just so that everyone knows that I actually did understand what Richard said.
I didn't. I think he made that very, very
You
clear.
can't do the care the fuck off.
Because I've done this job for years. I've been a carer for almost 25 years and I've never been spoken to like that by a client. If ever anything happened to my mum, I didn't want to live in residential care, and I didn't want to live with a family member. I wanted to continue and have my independence maintained in my own home. So that's what I did. And I've stayed here ever since. What's for supper tonight then?
What do you want?
For me, my life wouldn't function without the assistance of a carer, because I need carers to get me out of bed in the morning, to help me with dressing, to help me with transferring to the lavatory.
Okay.
To begin with, having carers in, although I knew that they were necessary, because I was growing up, I found it an invasion of my privacy, because this strange person was going to come in twice a week to bath me. Having to get undressed in front of my first carer was very embarrassing. Care needs being met isn't about the nice bits. Chris could have an accident on the way over.
On the way over, just on the way to the party.
No,
On the way back.
On the way back from the party.
That might be interesting. Throw in another scene.
I think we should give Chris the brain injury then.
The trouble is, if we
From
do
the
it my
road-
way,
from-
then it's
from the
too
road
much like your Alice in
or whatever,
Wonderland thing.
and then not take on board any more issues.
Don't forget.
But what if somebody comes up with a really good issue?
Leave sex in, don't take the sex out. I'm fighting to get sex in there, Cove.
Are we going to bring in another character or not?
Sorry?
Are we going to bring in another character, or are we going to make Sarah disabled?
No, we're giving Chris.
Chris.
He's going to have
Scene
a
two.
car accident on the way home, Kev. Keep up,
Did
Look,
you come up in the swing?
my brain hurts.
Yeah.
Originally, within the university, there's a drama department. They help us with our once-a-year production for the social work students. So they get marks for it and we get what we want. And another of our members said, we want to do a piece of drama that was good in its own right. the issues that we're looking at are issues of discrimination.
What I think we should do is maybe read through it and then everyone like have their thoughts on it, or we could do maybe validations. And Brian is very uncomfortable with Sam's sexuality. Brian tells Sam that Sarah has just announced that she is gay, and Phil offers to take her in the other room to talk it through with Jane. Should we stop there? Is that what you remember from last week?
Yeah.
What do you think, Tim?
At the moment it's setting the scene, but it's not dealing with any of the issues that I thought we were dealing with yet.
Okay.
But it probably will do. Yeah. So we developed the play around this gay rights thing with disability, which is fine, but it wasn't what I wanted. This is very interesting. What we've lost for me, taking this over what we did before Christmas, is that you've got two kinds of discrimination. You've got personal discrimination, which is like how individuals discriminate because of prejudice and what have you, which is very well covered in here.
Yeah.
But very often social workers are part of an organisation, and the organisation has rules and regulations that very often discriminate. And what we did before Christmas was quite powerful, because we were looking at a generic organisation that preaches one thing and does something else. And that they preach love and respect and all the rest of it. I'm a bit disappointed that we've lost that focus.
Firstly, nobody last week actually discussed that we weren't going to still deal with discriminatory issues. So, although I appreciate what you're saying, that message might be lost by you, we didn't actually have a discussion last week to say we weren't prepared to do that.
Okay.
So as far as we as a group are concerned, the goalposts haven't moved.
Right.
So if you're getting that feeling, then
I'm looking at this.
So if you're getting that feeling from looking at this, then we as a group now need to discuss what we want to do with this to get that
we could do it.
feeling back.
Is there a way then in which we could recreate the power of that piece? Because I think that piece was very powerful. But reinforce we're not knocking the face. What we're questioning is the double standards. And the way, I'm wondering whether if we made it a different kind of...
I think that's a really good point, that almost do all organisations discriminate in some way?
I'm sure we do.
Yeah, we do.
You know, the fact that probably every organisation does, and that's a point that could be made throughout this piece.
Yeah.
Not as a really obvious point, but a subtle point in every scene.
We had quite a discussion in that rehearsal. And I came home and talked about it with my wife. And the more I thought about it, the more unhappy I became. When I was born, I would have epileptic fits on a fairly regular basis. And they discovered that by listening to music, I was able to calm the body down, and in a way I got to a point where I was able to recognise a fit situation building up, and by using music calm it down, so I was able to defeat the epic. At the age of 6, I was reading orchestral scores, so I could read music before I could read words. We were brought up within the Salvation Army. Every church has a senior band, a brass band, and they give concerts every week. And at weekends, we used to leave the house on a Sunday morning, about half 8, 9 o'clock. We wouldn't be able to sit down again till 9 o'clock at night, which I found quite tiring as a youngster, but quite enjoyable because it gave me a lot of friends and a community that I could belong to. And I thought that it didn't matter that the outside world discriminated against me, because I was able to take part. I was able to be on the platform, to be part of a musical production. It didn't matter that the outside world discriminated against me. It was only when I came here and I assumed that the organisation here would welcome me in the same way. And I found that wasn't the case. The people at Southside said, we don't want you in our band because of the way you look on the platform. And then I found that really that organisation is no better or worse than any other. There's lots of Christian organisations that discriminate by the buildings, by the access, by all kinds of things that they do, which makes me sad.
That's the one that causes the
So
problem.
after this emergency meeting yesterday, which we had, because some people weren't happy with the
And it's not
script,
clear.
we've revised it.
There was a meeting yesterday at which Kevin discussed the fact that he wasn't happy with the piece we had last week, because he felt the piece we had last week had lost some of its impact. So I then spoke, without mentioning any names, about people that I've worked with within residential care and the institutionalisation that comes with living in residential care. So hence why Jake and the other students went home and rewrote the piece and now have come up with what we've got today.
So they will discriminate against Brian's sexuality because Brian is gay.
You want me to read it?
Yeah, go for it.
Brian is gay bisexual. Steve arrives first and is welcomed by the group. He says his partner will be along soon. When Brian arrives, the group are clearly taken aback, but their prejudice is subtle. They decide to go clubbing, but the place they choose is upstairs with no lift access, therefore preventing Brian from joining them.
Thanks very much.
Can we have tea, please?
Can we get some?
Do you want some tea?
Yes, please.
Just hand them a cup.
Oh.
I remember when I was in residential care, and I know exactly where you're coming from.
Well, you're talking, right, about an extra cup of tea. When I was in my home, instead of asking me, did I want sugar in my tea, and how many do I have it black or with milk, right?
Yeah.
They would not ask me, because my mum was stood over my wheelchair. They thought, oh, she's bound to know the answer. So they said, does she have sugar? Does she have it white? And I'm just like, yes, I do. But they would not listen to me. My part is showing that a carer doesn't give the gay people as good treatment as the rest of the people. Because I'm there going through everyone, giving them cups of tea.
Almost like they're second-class citizens because they don't fit the norm.
With the two gays, I won't give them the tea properly, I'll just shove it at them and leave them. I brought up an issue with me about someone saying, did I take sugar in my tea? Not asking me, asking a carer, not me. So I brought that up when we were discussing all our bad experiences.
What care needs has Steve got from leaving hospital? He has got a sight problem. Yeah, put those on first.
These are going to look so sexy as well. Oh man, that is seriously messed up.
Oh, you look good.
See your face,
So
John.
what can you see?
About like that much.
So that is vision through a circle. So that gives the effect of someone with tunnel vision.
You see nothing at all to the right.
That's what Christina.
You
can
lose
see completely
total.
on my left and not to my
Yeah,
right at all.
you lose total vision in one direction.
Yeah, that's
Can't even see lights.
Oh,
Now
yeah.
these are sexy, darling.
Oh, I'm feeling this.
Woohoo!
That's.
Yeah,
Just-
now they got cones.
Oh, okay.
You can only see a vision from one side of your eye. Do you want to take those off?
Yeah,
Because they actually give you the most effects.
that's just really disturbing.
I think, like everyone, a disabled person with a disability always finds it very difficult to hold down relationships with people. If you have regular carers that come into your home a lot, it can be very difficult to maintain a relationship with someone because you know the carer's going to be around, and you sometimes wish the carer would go home, but you know that their allotted shift hasn't come to an end, and because they're paid to stay here for a certain amount of time, it isn't necessarily easy. And sometimes there can be an element of over-familiarity. So there is a line which you as a client shouldn't cross whilst you're working with a carer or the carers, and there is also a line which the carer should be aware that they shouldn't cross. When I interview care staff, I always tell them about my sexuality. So if they're not comfortable with my sexuality, then they can say that at interview, and then they can go away. I can get on with my life and they can get on with theirs.
Yeah.
But this carer that was working with me actually said that he was comfortable with my sexuality. So at that time, he was the best candidate for the job that I was offering. And he spent 6 to 8 months actually taking me down to the beach on a regular basis, because he thought that if he kept taking me along the beach and I saw females in swimming costumes, it would turn me straight. And we actually had to get a social worker involved in this to say that turning me straight, seeing people in a swimming costume, wasn't going to happen to turning me straight. And the only favours he was doing by taking me down the beach was that I was actually looking at the males in their swimming costumes, and that was really brightening up my day. Some disabled people have told me also over the years that they find it easier, although they don't necessarily come to terms with the fact that they might be lesbian or they might be a homosexual. They sometimes find it easier to find comfort from same-sex relationships than going out to meet a girlfriend or if you're a girl, meeting a boy, because there are all those kind of barriers. Some disabled people find those barriers easy to cope with. Some find those barriers difficult to cope with. The other thing we've got to remember, I think, is that many disabled people have close relationships with their carers, professional relationships with their carers anyway.
Yeah.
So the likelihood of them actually discussing problems that they have with them is quite high, actually.
Really?
Because the first person you go to is a carer. You don't actually know whether the person that you're hoping to become involved with is becoming involved with you because they have feelings for you, or whether they are becoming involved with you because they feel sorry for you because you have a disability. I do want to settle down into a relationship, a long-term relationship with someone.
All right. Yeah.
Jake and Andrew planning to have sex for the first time since the accident.
Yeah.
But they need assistance from the carer.
Well, again, that's about many people after an accident don't know whether they can do it.
Well, they have to think of different
ways of doing it. And just because they're gay, it doesn't mean that that's any more the case. See on Richard?
Mm-hmm. Don't start.
we got together on a business footing first. And we like going out coffee.
Oh yeah, we like eating out and travelling. We're both like that.
Yes.
I mean, we go in Starbucks a lot, 3-4 times a week. They know us now. But for several months, they assumed that we couldn't possibly be married because we talk all the time.
Oh yeah, I mean, we've been married 17 years this year.
And we haven't fallen out yet.
And neither have I yet. We disagree, but we just can't be bothered.
About it. Usually end up laughing.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, every morning she gives me a wet shave because I can't manage with an electric because
just having one reasonably good hand.
So
I'm holding the razor.
You don't argue there. You don't argue.
Up to the last couple of years, if we went out for a meal, I got the bill. Because of course, you know. You go into a shop to buy something, and they'd start talking to me, and I'll say, I'm sorry. It's my husband's money, I'm just a kept woman.
Well, the number of times they called you that.
When he had a chap come about his pension, his personal pension, and he went upstairs to get the paperwork. This wasn't in this bungalow, obviously. And when he came down, the chap says, oh, I've just been explaining to your mother. And he says, oh, I'm sorry, you haven't met my wife, have you? Even some of his family were sort of a bit
wary,
because obviously I was divorced. I had a child. I think they just thought I was looking for a cushy number, you know, get my feet under the table, as it were, because he had a bit of money, his own house and car. And one of them actually said she hadn't accepted it until she saw how I behaved to him in public, which I thought was rather strange because I'd already known him, nearly 18 months. But I don't know, she must have thought, well, perhaps she doesn't, you know, she wouldn't treat him as normally. But I don't know, it's just never been a problem.
No.
The disability's never been part of any decision, really. I just can't understand it. it's beyond my comprehension why people can't go beyond the looks.
Hello. Hi Christine, how are you?
Yeah, I'm alright.
Yeah, that music track you wanted, what was it?
Yeah, which song was it? It was by James Blunt.
Oh.
Do you remember?
A moment after Andrew receives a phone call, Jake's been in an accident.
Like I was in an accident sort of thing.
Ah, right, yeah, I see.
Andrew gets the phone call. It's happened. How did you find out about my accident?
Your accident? Well, it's a long story really, but I was out with my friends.
What, on the piss?
No, we were on the school field in the summer, nice and hot. I got a phone call from Mum saying, I don't want to tell you what's happened, but we need to see you now. Can you come home? And I said, well, no, I'm having a good time, I'm staying out. And she rang up again and said, look, Christina could be dead, she's in the hospital, we're not sure what's happening. The police would like to come through, pick you up and take you to the hospital. And I just said no, I was in shock, so I said no, I'm not going to the hospital. I'm not going in a police car, forget about that. I said, I'll stay at Darren's or something, you know, cousin Darren. So I phoned him and he said, yeah, that's fine. And as it happens, all the family were there. And so I didn't go and see you because I didn't want to. I didn't want to see you in that state. And so I waited till the next day to go. But it was certainly a shock. I didn't want to believe it at the time. But it was a hard time.
I understand, Jake, that you used to undress and position both of you however you wanted. I have to say it bluntly because neither of you should feel uncomfortable.
I think it was really, really good. I think slightly here you lost it a little bit. I thought it was really good apart from that.
I think it's not good when I'm reading it.
Yeah, no, once you've read it through a few more times, it should be, you know, it should come together.
Do you know what I really enjoyed about the play, right? I loved the fact that I was acting a carer, and I love being the carer instead of the client, or whatever they call me. But it just felt so amazing to be on the other end, because when you're on the client's end you feel so small.
When you start talking about Portsmouth making a complaint, that's your cue to move, Richard.
But not over Kevin's foot.
Right. Do you want to do that again? You need to get your move right, Richard. Richard, move. You need to be out by now.
Yeah, he's on his way.
And then.
He can only go as fast as movements will allow.
Yeah, but he wasn't moving. He needs to get on move. Go on, Lucy.
I need to break for 5 minutes, folks. I'm sorry. Which one to go?
I'm just a bit worried that we're not ready. There tomorrow we've got 120 students who are going to sit there and say, what the fuck? Yeah, if we don't get our act together.
When you see at the start of a session and you think we've only got 2 or 3 days to go until the performance actually goes live, then you begin to ask yourself questions about whether it is going to come together or not.
I didn't feel that people were taking it seriously enough. And then it's very difficult working with a group where you've got many different forms of physical disability and learning disability. You have to find a common level. Where that common level is, I don't know. And at the moment I'm feeling, rightly or wrongly, that the level is far too low for what I want to be involved in. That's not politically correct, that's the way I feel. Enjoy yourself. I will. Enjoy it. Yeah. Enjoy it. I'm really nervous now. People are queuing up to get in. Really a lot of people. Can I remember which scene is which? Can I remember the order? So that's what I want to do. Go for it. Over the top. And let's see how we go.
Welcome to our special SWIG special extravaganza. I'm Tina. Right. I'm the team leader. That's Kevin.
Hi, Jake.
That's Richard. That's Lucy.
Hello, Jake.
And that's Christina.
Hello.
And that's Jackie.
Hiya.
All right.
Nice to meet you all.
Yeah. There's a chair there if you want it.
How did you find it?
Oh, there was an ad in a newspaper.
I said tonight, pays to advertise.
My boyfriend should be coming along soon.
Oh, good. I did say, did I get the name right? Was it Andrew?
Yeah.
Oh, hang on. Hello, are you Andrew?
Hello, darling. Yes, I'm Andrew.
Hello, that's nice, isn't it?
Just thinking about it, I picked up some leaflets for you to have a look at.
Oh, that's very nice of you, thank you. Oh yes, that one, that one, yeah, that one.
Oh dear, I've given you the wrong leaflet.
And that one looks good.
Sorry.
Oh!
Because I can't do that position, or that position. Sorry. Here's the one I meant to have given you.
Parkinson's is a progressive illness. Multiple sclerosis is a progressive illness. Brain injury can affect cognitive and motor skills.
Why me?
When I was in residential care, you were going to the loo too much.
So they didn't give you enough drinks because they thought you were going to the loo a lot?
It makes you wonder about the future. What on earth are we going to do about the future? I wonder.
You guys, I just want to say, were brilliant in that last performance.
Yeah.
Just,
well, you were brilliant the whole way through.
Yeah.
You guys didn't stress me out at all.
Well, for you, how was the whole process of the drama?
Today was a great success. It all came together. It all made the work of rehearsals and the nightmares really worthwhile. If half of the audience got the messages that came across last bit, then we've done good. But we couldn't have done it without these guys, though.
Definitely.
It's just as fabulous as me.
As well as our producer.
Oh, thanks, guys.
Yeah, thank you so much. I know I am.
I think you've seen the whole process. We haven't agreed with it. We've disagreed. We've had different opinions. Developing the drama, we went through issues where we didn't agree with each other.
That's right.
But that's healthy. That's it. And I don't know about you, but I've got to get home and get some
I know.
food.
Yeah. I thought you were going to go to sleep.
Nothing.
you know what I really enjoyed about the play, right? I loved the fact that I was acting a carer, and I love being the carer instead of the client, or whatever they call me. But it just felt so amazing to be on the other end, because when you're on the client's end you feel so small.